And you're very welcome to the virtual launch of the Galway Racing Festival 2021. My name is George McDonagh. I'll be joined on the panel by the CEO of the Galway Racecourse, Michael Maloney, and our chairman, Mr. Anthony Ryan. You took over in 2019 from Peter Allen, unfortunately, last year. For a number of weeks last year, we didn't know whether we'd have a racing festival. We had 7 days racing. This year, you're hoping to welcome back a number of people to the racecourse. We'll have owners, and we're hoping for 5,000 people. But Galway Races is synonymous with the summer, but it's also a huge benefit to the city of ours.
Yeah, the benefit to the city, the local economy of the Galway Races is phenomenal. As you know, I'm a businessman myself here in Galway, and the amount of extra customers that we get from the racing fraternity is unbelievable. There's a whole link down. It goes on the multiplier. It goes into B&Bs. It goes into hotels. It goes into pubs. It supports the whole community. As our mayor so kindly said, accurately said, that it's a benefit of €58 million to the economy, and so it's really, really important that we get this festival up and going and back to what it normally is.
And as a racecourse yourself, and you're chairman of the stewarding panel in Kilbeggan, you're also stewarding duties in many of the West of Ireland venues. It's quite hard for people like yourself to go racing, and unfortunately no public there.
Yeah, I've been to many race meetings over the last year stewarding, and it's soulless, really. You know, we're privileged to be there because we're seeing the finest horses racing around the finest race courses, and it's a shame that the public can't go in and see that in an open and outdoor setting. So we're hoping that perhaps we'll get this facility for Galway this year.
It's certainly be a huge added bonus to the festival. Michael, from yourself, your point of view, we had a wonderful festival last year because we had some tremendous racing. We saw a fantastic winner of the Galway Plate in the early doors. We saw a wonderful performance, probably one of the finest performances in the last 20 years, when Armagh took the Galway Hurl. And it's fantastic for me to see this year that prize money on those centre races, and indeed all feature races, has increased once again.
Yeah, I suppose that's where it all starts, George. Looking forward to this year. Last year was obviously disappointing to be behind closed doors, but obviously fortunate to have it and to be able to race behind closed doors. We still had some great quality racing last year. With all the top jockeys and trainers in attendance, and I'm sure this year will be no different. Although still, not fully sure as to how many spectators will be there. The racing is the core product, and I think prize money is the route to that, and we are very fortunate with the support of all our partners in Galway and Horse Race in Ireland that we have some great prize money on offer again this year. There's a prize fund for the week across the 52 races of over 1.8 million, which is a huge figure, I suppose, in the current economic times. But I suppose the racing industry is so important to Ireland, and particular the rural communities, and prize money is what funds all those jobs. There's 30,000 people work in Irish racing, so the Toke Galway Plate this year is increasing to 250,000. That has a boost of 50,000 euros, and then the Guinness Galway Hurdle on Thursday has a boost as well of 50,000 to 250,000 euros as well. And I suppose right across the week, for all 7 days, we have a feature race that's worth over 100,000 euros. You take the Connacht Hotel handicap on Monday night, the Colin Quinn BMW Mile on Tuesday, and then on Friday then the Guinness handicap, and Saturday then you have the Galway Shopping Centre handicap, and then Friday then obviously the Ahanora handicap as well, sponsored by the European Breeders' Fund. So it's great to have all those quality of races, and I suppose in terms of we're always focused on the grassroots as well. I suppose our aim is to, we've seen a drop off in prize money maybe at that level, and our aim is really heading into 2022 that we see that increase again next year, and really will be the focus.
We're speaking about that and what it's worth to the city, but also as well as the quality of racing we have. Anthony, one of the highlights of the week is Ladies' Day. We had a virtual Ladies' Day last year. We're looking forward to it again this year. And we will also have the most stylish racecourse sponsored by the Athlone Town Centre. It's wonderful. These events are key parts of the Galway Racing Festival.
Absolutely. The Ladies' Day in Galway Races is by far the busiest racing day in the Irish racing calendar. We're very thankful to her.ie for their sponsorship, continuous sponsorship this year. And they had a very successful online promotion last year. Please God that this year we might even see some style out of the races, but it's really important. It gives people a lift, a much needed lift at this time, and we're thankful to both her.ie and Athlone Town Shopping Centre for their support on those days.
It's wonderful to see that. And Michael, I think also we will be talking racing in a couple of moments. We'll have guests like Aidan McGuinness, Kevin O'Ryan, Lisa O'Neill and Henry de Bromhead, and they will give us a lowdown on what's there happening. But you look at what the Park Galway Racecourse has played in the local area for the last year, Michael. The vaccination centre, Anthony will deal with that in a couple of moments, which is wonderful to see people return. But what many people might not know, Michael, is that a local school, Scolvrida in Menlo, have been teaching their classes at the facility all this for the last 15, 16 months, and also the Renmore Gymnastic Club.
Yeah, look, I suppose we are fortunate. We have a great facility in Ballybrit, and I suppose normally use it for the main week of the year is obviously the last week of July. So I suppose when everything had changed last year, in terms of the event side of the business, it probably decreased slightly in terms of being able to host events. So there was a number of projects in terms of local community, as you say, Scolbridge from Menlo. Their school unfortunately got flooded and they were up running around the racecourse every day. So it was great to have those there. And as you say, Renmore Gymnastics, they have 1,000 local kids as well that come to gymnastics training in the racecourse as well. So it's great to have those projects and be part of the community. I suppose we're so well supported in Galway from the city and the county in terms of people attending Ballybrit, and it's nice to be able to give back to the local community as well. There's people contacting us from right around the world at the moment, wondering how they'll get tickets to come to Ballybrit for the last week of July. And as we've had so many stories and just messages of support, and I suppose it's really given us a sense of being able to step back from it this year and seeing the effect that the product that we put on has on people, and what Ballybrit means to people. And it's great to have that sense of occasion, and hopefully some of those people will come through the gates this year.
And speaking of recovery, we're hoping that people will be coming back to the races this year. Anthony, the Galway Racecourse has played a massive part in the recovery of the west of Ireland, with the vaccination centre running there for the last 7-8 months.
Yeah, we were delighted to be able to assist the HSC and the authorities in assisting the community in general on the road to recovery. The vaccination centre has been up and running for the last number of months up in Ballybrit. There's been in excess of 100,000 people vaccinated up there twice, so they're really busy. We've been really pleased to be able to assist the citizens of the country to be able to get immunity against COVID. So the races has always been part of the community, so it's great for us to be able to give back to the community some help.
And social media is a marvellous thing in this day and age, but the amount of people who posted social media pictures of the Galway Racecourse, and they're just saying that they love to come here racing, and it's amazing how they're making a step back into the community themselves, having attended the racecourse facility for their vaccinations.
Yeah, and it's the racecourse facility also has been used, for people who have been walking around the course. We think that we've helped the mental well-being of the community. And if I may say so, I walked it there the other day. The track is in absolute pristine condition. The fences are laid out. We have a new canter down made for the starts, the 7 furlong start. It's all ready to go, and it's looking fantastic.
There's been a lot of work done behind the scenes, Michael, as you know, the preparation for the race. We always hear from people, when does the preparation for the Galway Racecourse and the Racing Festival start? And you will tell me it starts probably a week after the October meeting the previous year. There's a huge effort among all your racing staff, and some little new developments this year. There's a lot of drainage work.
Yeah, well, I normally tell people it actually starts about 2 years before a particular festival. So the fact that we're only 2 weeks away and we still don't know how many people we're going to have makes me a little bit nervous. But we'll get there. But yeah, no, as you say, look, the team in the racecourse. I'm so proud to be part of it. They're an amazing team, from everybody in the office out to Jerry Broderick and his team on the track, Paul Mahoney, and looks after the enclosure. And they're all very proud to work there and be part of it. And they all return a great product, and then make sure everything is in pristine condition. As you say, we did a lot of drainage work earlier on this year at the end of March, beginning of April, on a number of areas of the track. And the committee are it's great to work with them, that they have the outright thinking to proceed with that drainage works, because it is a difficult time in terms of financials, but very conscious that the track needs to be in the best condition it can be. And when we approached the committee to carry out that work, there was no problem, and it has gone really well, and I think it's going to see a huge improvement. It's more focused maybe around our October meetings, where there was a couple of areas that were just a little bit slower than we would have liked, but but as the chairman says, the ground is looking amazing at the moment. We've had a bit of rain over the weekend, and grass is in great condition, and come 2.5 weeks time, it'll be as good as ever.
And also just a note for our viewers at home that there is a facility in your Zoom link to send a few questions into our racing panel, which we'll be talking to in a couple of moments' time. Anthony, we speak about the heritage of the Galway Racecourse, and I always feel that Galway families have a great connection with the Galway Racecourse. Your own family, your late dad Paddy was a chairman, your mother Breda loved coming racing and was a sponsor there. Your brother John is a sponsor. You're chairman and have been a sponsor. The Rooney family are also great sponsors and supporters of the Galway races. And this year, the Leading Jockey Award will be run in memory of the late Pat Smullen, a much missed friend to us all, and a fantastic racing personality, and a man who taught a lot of young jockeys how to ride Ballybrit.
Yeah, we're extremely grateful to both the Rooney family for sponsoring the Best Jockey event, and also Chanel Medical for doing the Best Trainer. But it's a lovely addition this year. And Niall Rooney was actually a great friend of Pat Smullen's.
Yes.
And Pat Smullen has a great heritage through Dermot Weld of what happened, all the riders he had in Galway. Pat battled cancer. We admired him. He fought so hard. I remember doing up in Roscommon a number of years ago at a steward's inquiry. We had an inquiry because we thought Pat was seriously injured in a bad accident out the back. In the middle of the inquiry, he turned in. He was there to give his report. He really was an incredible jockey. It's great that we can honour his memory this year in association with his family with the Pat Smullen Perpetual Trophy, which will be given to the leading flat jockey this year, sponsored by the Rooney family. It's really wonderful.
And I think that just shows what the involvement Galway Races has with the community. And Pat the Galway Races meant so much to Pat, and he to the people of the Galway Races, the punters, the young people that came to the races, always looked up to Pat Smullen. I think this Jockey's Award, I think, really is a tremendous move on behalf of the committee and the sponsors. And I think that every jockey riding at Ballybrit on the flat will be coveting that award. But also, Michael Maloney, this year Galway Racecourse has moved a little as well regarding sponsorship, and you've joined up with the Irish Retired Racehorse Trust, I believe.
Yeah,
is that correct?
We're very fortunate in terms of our partners. They've all come back this year in terms of renewing their agreements in terms of sponsorship. So, we are very fortunate. The likes of McGuinness have come on board again as title sponsors of the Tuesday night with a new 5-year agreement. Tote Ireland have renewed their agreement of the Galway Plate. Guinness are long-term sponsors, been there for, I think heading for 60 years at this stage. All the hotels on Monday night, local sponsors. It's been incredible, the support that we've received and heading forward into the future as well. It's been amazing to have that support from our partners and our sponsors. But I suppose in terms of the Irish Horse Welfare Trust, that was just one that we looked at over the winter period, and it was something, I suppose as an organisation, we like to give back where we can, and that's a very interesting charity in terms of they're dedicated equine charity. They look after the welfare of the equine thoroughbred, which is, I suppose, part and parcel of what we do, and really are the silent partner of what we do. And we support so many charities. We just felt there's some thoroughbreds sometimes in their time of need that they need some help, and we're really appealing to people this year to help support that facility. They need to raise €300,000 every year to run that facility down in Arklow. And unfortunately, over the last couple of months, they haven't been able to do that in terms of their events have been cancelled in terms of fundraising. So we really feel that the thoroughbred needs to be supported through this charity, and we're asking everybody as much as possible to help us raise funds for that charity over this year's summer festival, and we feel it is a great partnership.
Indeed, I think that is a fantastic gesture. It really is. Anthony, give the final word before we go to some video shots and before we go to our panel. I think on behalf of the committee, you would like to extend hopefully a warm welcome to everybody coming west and everybody that comes to the Galway races. And I think thank as well the people who unfortunately won't be able to be here with us, but they will also be here virtually, let's say, be it on TV or whatever, following our social media activities, which will be active right throughout the week. The people make Galway, and Galway races make so many people happy.
Yeah, it's all about people. It's all about enjoying the sport in a safe environment. We'll have lots of staycationers here this year. We hopefully a certain percentage of those will be able to join us out in Ballybrit. But those of you who can't, please watch us online, watch us on TV. We've got great TV coverage with both RTE 4 Days and TG Cahir, and get involved in the whole spirit of the festival and support Irish racing in general. That's what we need.
It is. It's a huge undertaking, the festival, and we know that the preparations have been tremendously well. I believe. Are we ready now to join our panel?
Yeah, I think we have a video George, from the Irish Horse Welfare Trust
which you've
start the
already
ball
spoken
rolling.
about, Michael. This is massive regarding this week. It's a huge variation to what people don't really see. What happens to the retired racehorses and the Irish Horse Welfare Trust? I think it's fantastic.
Hello, Michael Maloney here from Galway Racecourse. Delighted this year that we will be partnering with the Irish Horse Welfare Trust based in Woodbridge in Arklow, County Wicklow. They do an amazing job in rehoming and retraining racehorses. They have a focus on the equine thoroughbred. We've been down here visiting the site. They do an amazing job. And this year we are delighted to be giving back in launching our partnership with the Irish Horse Welfare Trust. And we would ask you to get involved by donating on the link below.
And you can follow the links online, and indeed the links will be available through all the race cards and throughout the track for the festival and all our social media channels. Well, now lots of people listening in that will be hopefully coming racing or be viewing on TV or listening on radio will be looking to see what will happen at Ballybrit for the year, what the big stables are bringing to us. And we're delighted to be joined by last year's, the man who owned the festival basically last year on the flat, Aido McGuinness, who trained, of course, the brilliant Stalson stall to record a second success in the Colm Quinn BMW Mile. We're also joined by Henry de Bromhead, the trainer of Shanahan's Turn, winner of the Galway Plate, and the one horse who ever went into a jump racing, I suppose, as a wolf in sheep's clothing, Balco de Flo, who went on to win Grade 1 races after his success in the Galway Plate. And we're also joined by Lisa O'Neill, of course, an integral part of the Cullentraw House operation for many years, and herself one of the leading lady riders we have in this country.
The cable news.
We're delighted to be joined by you, Aido, first. Aido, last year at Ballybrit was the Aido McGuinness Festival. A great friend of mine who loves his racing asked me to ask you one question. We hear this that in Aidan O'Brien's in Ballydoyle, they have a replica gallop of the Tattenham Corner and the Epsom Derby track. They want to know if you a replica gallop of Ballybrit at your stables.
No, I haven't, but some of my horses just love the place. We do a good bit of hill work as well. There's no real. You either love the place or you don't, you know.
Exactly, and I think that was case in point last year. And I watched last night the reruns of the Colm Quinn BMW Mile, and Salston Stall to come from last to first in a grade of a handicap like the Colm Quinn BMW Mile was a phenomenal performance by your jockey Gavin Ryan, a great training performance. But then this horse just loves Ballybrit for some reason.
Yeah, look, he's back-to-back winners of the Galway Mile, and he's heading back there. We're going to try and do the treble with him if we can, and we're looking forward to it. He's going to carry top weight there next week, or at the end of the month, I should say. And look, he's in great form. He's been running in stakes races and running very well in them. So hopefully he'll run a big race down there.
He ran through. He's got, I think, he's a rating of about 106 now. It'll be a huge effort. Pinch Hitter off 9.13, Riven Light off 10.1. Huge weight carrying performance. Pinch Hitter and Vastanet are the two that have won it twice. Pinch Hitter failed narrowly in his attempt for a hat-trick. You'd be confident that Salston Stall will come here to Galway fighting, along with many more, I would think you would bring west.
Yeah, he'll definitely come. We're going to bring Current Option, who won the Anora handicap. He's heading there. Sir Jack Thomas, who won up the Curran Derby there a couple of weeks ago, he'll head for the Colm Quinn Mile as well. We've a nice 3-year-old there called Star Harbour. He'll run in the Colm Quinn Mile as well. And we've a big team of horses heading there. Henry
de Bromhead we're going to talk to next, but we'll come back to you, Aido, in a minute. And Henry, I said in my introduction, in my view, when I think back, Balco de Flo was a wolf in sheep's clothing, was the best way I could describe him. A wonderful winner of a Galway Plate. Shanahan's Turn also done duty for you in winning the Galway Plate. It's a race synonymous with summer racing, as we know. It's synonymous with the Galway Festival. But it's a race also that takes some winning. And you need a Grade 1 calibre animal like Balco de Flo, I think, to lift a Galway Plate.
Yeah, it certainly seems that way nowadays. It's very competitive, as you say. It's the highlight of the summer for national hunt racing, and tough race to win. We've been fortunate enough to win it a couple of times. Falco was a really good winner with Davy Russell there, and then he went on to win the Ryanair Chase. And obviously, prior to that, Shanahan's Turn won for it as well. So we've been fortunate to have a bit of luck in it. But as I say, it's a tough one to compete in. Yeah,
it is, Henry. But as long as I can remember you having a license, I find it hard to go back in my own memory for a year, especially in the last 12 to 14 years, where you didn't train a winner at Ballybrit. You always have a winner, and your owners always appreciate coming west, but you somehow you obviously target the meeting in the middle of the summer, but you need a decent quality animal to win at Ballybrit.
Yeah, absolutely. You obviously haven't looked at my stats in Galway in the last 2 years. I was just going to get one on the Saturday last year, and Ado chinned me on the line in a flat race, so that was a bit frustrating. I don't think I've had a winner there for the last 2 years, so I'm starting to fall out of love with Galway at the moment. But hopefully we can reignite it this year.
I think you have a couple of dark horses come the Galway plate. We'll come back to you in a few moments and ask you about a question about those. Lisa O'Neill, who's an integral part of operations at Cullentraw House, and herself, Lisa, you rode none other than Abracababra, I think, to win a bumper in Galway back in 2018. Cullentraw House have won the Galway plate with Boris, with Clarkham, with Lord Scoundrel, and lots of people, I would think, listening and online will be wondering, is Sampgro coming back west of the Shannon this year? Because he will frame what's going to happen, I think, in the Tote Galway plate.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's the main aim for Sampro to return to action in the Galway plate. So fingers crossed he gets there safe and sound. But obviously he'll have to return to form and live up to what were previous expectations of him in the past. So look, if he can rekindle his form from before, he definitely goes there with a big shout.
For a horse that was, through some scribes, were christening him as the return of the man above, he maybe disappointed some people. He did do the business when he was asked to at Cheltenham on 2 occasions. I think he's a horse that could be suited by a Galway plate. Would the fact of like a 3 furlong running at Galway, would that play to Sam Crow's hands? And how will he handle the ground, which is likely to be on the fast side?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, they're all unknowns. Obviously, he hasn't run around there before, and it's a tricky track. And you need to have a balanced and experienced horse. But I think his ability, he has serious ability on his day. And look, if he can just return to that at all, he has to stand a solid chance.
Cullentraw House have always been among the winners at Ballybrit. The prize money, obviously, at Galway for a stable that you're involved with it's a huge carrot, and it also signals probably the start of the jump season, really, because you have a couple of months to the Listowel Festival, a month and a half, but a lot of the bigger stables tend to bring some of their better horses out in Ballybrit. The quality of prize money, yes, you're an amateur, but the quality of prize money for the operation you're involved in is a huge carrot by bringing their decent horses west of the Shannon.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I suppose with the close of the National Hunt Series in Punchestown, the next step then after maybe the Jockey's Break or a break is the Galway Festival. Everyone looks forward to it, and it's a pivotal part of the summer festival for any jockey, whether it be National Hunt or Flat. So look, it's so competitive, and we've seen through previous years there's plenty of English trainers contesting their horses over here, and the increase in prize money is only going to attract a more competitive horse and attract those trainers to run their horses here.
As a jockey yourself, Lisa, how does Galway ride? Is it a fact that many people seem to think that the races at Galway are run that little bit faster because of the competitive nature of the contests?
Yeah, I suppose so. It's very unique with its undulations, and you can see in a lot of the big handicaps there's a lot of hustle and bustle at the start of the races to get a good position and to get into a rhythm. But like as people know, on the flat track, it's very, the draw makes a big difference on the flat track, and then we see on the National Hunt track the 2 fences in the dip. They can be the making and breaking of you. But like apart from the draw on the flat and the 2 fences in the dip, the climb from the turn into the straight to the finish post, like there's a lot of races change in complex from the turn into the finish post, so it's very unique.
The one race I think that would be unique to you, Lisa, throughout the week would be the Amateur Riders race on the Monday, sponsored by the Galway Hotels, the Connacht Hotel Amateur Handicap. Takaringo in 7th, I think, might be the closest you've got to winning it. But fellow lady riders like Jodie Townend, like Jane Mangan, like Kate Harrington have all won this race. It would be a massive boost to your career, which is, of course, we've already seen a couple of Munster Nationals. It would be a huge boost to yourself to win that race.
Absolutely, it's the highlight of the Galway Festival for any amateur to win that kind of a race, and credit to Galway Races and Michael Maloney and the ground staff there provide fantastic ground for the summer festival. So it's a highlight for any amateur to win that race, and I'll try and get a little bit closer than 7th.
Yeah, well, Patrick Mullins has been trying for a number of years to win it. Aido McGuinness, can we go back to you? And like we spoke about your stable star in Stalls and Stalls for Jack Thomas and current option. But for many years, I don't know why it is, you have excelled in developing course specialists. We go back to the lads involved with Bo Michael and those horses. They were always able to run 2 or 3 times in the week and always pick up prize money for some reason.
Yeah, we had a horse there, Bo Satchley, won 3 years on the bounce. He was a horse that went there and he just loved the place, and as any trainer will tell you, you get horses that go there and if they like the place, like you can't beat course and distance or course winners in a place like that, and we'd always prepare them horses for their festival if we could, and both Satchel, everybody, he nearly knew every year round. Like when he got to Galway, he was probably 7 or 8 pound better down in Galway than he was anywhere else.
It is that unique tracks, but logistically for yourself, it's a 7-day festival. Granted, in the current times we live in, we will have 2 days flat racing first and then 2 days flat racing at the end. It's a huge logistical, I would say, week for you in your stable staff.
Yeah, look at a lot of my owners love the place. We target horses there every year because it's such a wonderful place to be. It's great. There's great prize money all week, and the social part of it for a lot of my owners. I have a lot of English owners that. I think the Dooley brothers that own Salt and Stall won the Colin Quinn Mile. Their first venture into racehorses was the first year he won the Galway Mile, and they spent a week in Galway, and they were very disappointed guys last year they couldn't come, and this year hopefully they will be able to get there, and it just means so much to them, and the festival, and all my staff, they all love the place.
There's actually, George, there's a question coming in for Aido there. And it's in terms of his Salt and Stall was to come home in front, less about the preparations, but more about what would the celebrations entail.
Well, we had a very quiet celebration last year, but it was the longest 5 minutes of my life. But I know that the guys will celebrate. They love partying and they love having it. We found some very good spots around Galway the first year he won, and the late great Bart O'Sullivan. He's my yard sponsor, and he's part owner, and his son is part owner of the horse stable. And it was a very emotional time to see him lead the horse in the first year, and we're definitely going to try again.
I think horses like him that make Ballybrit for many years. There was Dermot Wells, Spanner, Pinch Hitter. These are cult horses that arrive in Galway, and they get a following from the local people, and young people that go racing for the first time recognise track winners like that. And I think it's horses like that really add to what is the splendour of the Galway Festival. Henry de Bromhead, I've been itching to ask a question of you for all morning, to be quite honest, because I think you might have a couple of lively contenders for the Galway Plate. You had first and second in a chase at Punchestown earlier this season, where Le Mousini and Walk Away both ran quite well in that contest. Le Mousini was second, Walk Away, and also Tiger Voice. They would be 3 horses, I think, that specialise around the 2.5 mile trip that might be part of your team. Would I be right in saying?
I'd say Walk Away will definitely be entered. Tiger Voice probably, that was a 2 mile actually.
Yeah.
He and Le Mousini were first and second in. I'm not sure they'll be entered. We'll discuss it with the owners, but we've a few nice horses there. We've Sumptu, we've Walk Away, Trainwreck. Sorry, I have my list there somewhere to be entered. Possibly Cavalry Master, Banyan Attack, Vizio Man. So there's plenty there to be entered, and we'll sort of fine tune it nearer the time.
Walkaway strikes me as a horse that might run well after a break. If you look at some of his form, he has an effort behind Asterion for Longe, and also was runner-up to Faheen, I think, earlier as well. That is top quality form.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, he'd be one of our, he'd be a hope for us, all right. Probably hasn't progressed as much as we hoped he would, but he ran well in Punchestown in the novice handicap, which is a race Falco de Flo was third in before he won the place, and Shannon's Turn looked to be running very well when he fell in the race. So it's quite a good trial for the plate. So yeah, he was an obvious one to go. But like I say, some choose there. He ran very well the other day. Visio Man, Plan of Attack could go. He might go for the Blazers. So there's plenty there, and we've annexation for the hurdles. So yeah, we've plenty of nice ones to run, thankfully.
The hurdle is one of the big races in the Irish calendar that you've yet to strike gold in. An ultra competitive race. You've been narrowly denied on a couple of occasions. Your horses run well. It's a totally different race than the plate, but it's again huge prize money, and luck in running plays a huge part in success at Galway. But also, one would think, with the quality of and calibre of animal that have won those races, you need a very well handicapped horse also coming.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you say, you need a high class horse that might have been just unlucky or whatever, off a good a fair rating, I suppose. So yeah, you do, and look, tough races to win, as we said. Any race in Galway is tough to win. So we'll give it our best shot and see how we go.
Lisa.
There's just a question in, George, here for Henry. You've mentioned a number of horses there, and maybe if you were to pick one of them that you'd like to see coming home in front, which one would it be?
I wouldn't. Whichever one I name, that'll put a hex on it. So I'd be saying, it's me on the day. Some for a better ground, some for an ease in the ground. I'd say let's see what everything how it's looking on the day, and we'd know more of that.
I think, Michael, to be quite honest, that Henry spoke about Balco de Flo and that effort in the novices handicap chase at Punchestown and how he came to Galway. I think as a wolf in sheep's clothing, my sneaky suspicion is that Walkaway might just be that horse. And I think with his form, when you look at it behind Asterion for Longe and Faheen, that is high quality form. He runs well fresh, so don't be worried. I think there's a little bit of a glint in Henry's eye when we mentioned Walkaway. I think that could be the Bromhead horse for the plate.
I think that was the bit of light coming in behind me in the door.
Lisa, also for a stable like yourselves in Cullentraw House that has a huge numerical size to it, looking for opportunities for all your horses. There's something there for every horse, I would dare say, or every calibre of horse in the stable. But it's now to the workup that the stable staff behind the scenes are doing in the next couple of weeks, because it's fine-tuning what you have coming west. I would dare say a stable like yours will know what's coming to this part of the world in 2 weeks' time. So it's now really the fine-tuning starts.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of work goes into everything behind the scenes, and the stable staff have to take a lot of credit for all the effort that goes into these horses when they do show up on the day. And as we see from a lot of stables, the way they're turned out as well, they look immaculate when they're there. Every yard does. So stable staff have a lot to take credit for, really, and they really are the background staff behind the whole lot of it. But yeah, absolutely, there'll be plenty of horses entered over the week, for the whole week, and hopefully with all the competitive racing, hopefully there'll be a couple of winners to pull out of it.
Well, one of our online listeners has asked Michael the question to put to Henry de Bromhead. He put it to him a couple of moments ago. Now we're going to have to put the question to both yourself, Lisa, and Edo. Firstly, you, Lisa, what is the horse that Cullentraw House thing will get them to the winners' enclosure in Ballybrit in 2 weeks' time?
I'd like to say I think Colin Irene could run a big race in the Galway Hurl. He won a Grade 2 race in Naas, the Grade 2 Hurl in Naas back in November, and he was second in a Grade B Hurl at Punchestown Festival, and I think he might be a sneaky one.
Edo, the same question has to go to you. And we don't want to be hearing Salts and Stall and Sir Jack Thomas and those current options.
I'm not going to say him because if I usually tip something, it'll be big. But we have a horse there we acquired from Sheila Laverty. He's some great form around Galway, a horse called Magnetic North. He's been placed and he's finished the top 5 there a couple of times, and he's heading to Galway, and he'll love a little bit of ease in the ground. So, he's a horse how he could pitch up there a couple of times that week. So, looking forward to him. So, you can tell Colin Quinn, he's texting me here about buying a new car off him as well. He's giving out to me for not driving a BMW.
So,
I'll be in trouble when I see it.
What you're really saying is you think you deserve a free BMW if you win the race for 3 years in succession.
He says he's already paid for it.
Before we say goodbye to our racing guest, Michael, I think one thing that Lisa, and indeed Henry and Ado will be in agreement here. It is wonderful to see Paddy Power Bookmakers back again this season to sponsor the best turned out horse in each race and for the prize over the week. I think that is fantastic because our three guests know the amount of work the unsung heroes of the racing yards put in to have these horses looking so well coming racing.
Yeah, I think Lisa alluded to it there, how well the horses are turned out when they come to Ballybrit and come into the parade ring, and it's amazing to stand there and watch them walk around. But as you say, Paddy Power, we're delighted to have them back on board this year, contributing €100 towards the best turned out for every race, and then 2,000 for the €2,000 for the yard that wins the overall best turned out for the week. And as you say, it's just about supporting those grooms who work so hard, long hours traveling to and from racing up and down the country every day, and so we're delighted to have that support on board for them.
And I think guys, and Henry and Ado especially will agree, as the guys in the trainer's license, that it's fantastic to see prize money like that for the unsung heroes, I always call them, the people that travel with the horses and they get their due reward. Their horse may not win the race, but they're there competing for a prize of the best turnout.
Yeah, very much so. Sorry, Ado.
Go away, Henry.
I was just going to agree, totally. Like, they're backbone to it all, and it's great to see them getting recognition in that way. They take great pride in how the horses are turned out. We all do, and it's brilliant for them.
Lisa, our final word to yourself. You're looking forward to coming west. We wish you every success with all the runners from Cullentra House. Call Me Lyrene has already got into a couple of notebooks, and I would think that, would I be right in saying that you would love to ride a festival winner if we were the bumpers or even the amateur riders race? It would certainly tick another box of your fantastic career.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely on my to-do list now. The amateur handicap on the Monday is very high on my to-do list. But look, we live in hope. Just to get any sort of a Galway Festival winner is marvellous, and it's great to be a part of it, and it's great to be down there.
It'll be wonderful seeing Stalston stall. It'll be a weight-carrying performance that we'll never see again. It'll be Arkle proportions if he defies a mark of 106. But I have a sneaking suspicion you're also looking at him framing the weights a little bit down further and give you sort of Magnetic North.
I wouldn't do that.
No, well, you're not doing anything wrong. It's just the way racing happens. But I think Magnetic North is another one that will go into many people's notebooks. No doubt there'll be plenty of runners from your stable throughout the week. We wish you every success for the festival and for the week. And it would be a marvellous, I think the scenes, if we have people there to see Salsa Stall do what no other horse has done, would be fantastic for the Colm Quinn Mile. And Henry, there's nothing like a third Galway plate, I would think. It'd be nice to add to that. And I think you would probably not like to see a Galway hurdle maybe come to your stable as well. But I know in my notebook that Walk Away is certainly high up in my list for the Galway plate. It'd be fantastic to see you win a third Galway plate. And maybe in that little bit of drought that you talk about. I don't think it's a drought. Most horses that arrive from County Waterford from your stables know the time of day, know how to jump, and every success for the festival. We would thank you for joining us also.
I think, George, just before we go, just as there's a number of comments coming in, just really wishing everybody, all our panellists here, the best of luck for the summer festival. And also to congratulate Henry, and obviously his amazing achievements over the last couple of months. But the question that has come in a couple of times at this stage, George, is what's your nap of the week?
My nap of the week, Michael, is a closely guarded secret. He'll be wearing a green jacket with yellow sleeves is all I'll say, a white cap with yellow dots. I'll say no more, but I think this horse will win at some stage during the week. But I will reveal all, Mike, in a week's time, but it'll be trained in County Meath, and the owner has won 2 Galway hurdles. I can say no more.
Very good.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank first on behalf of our chairman, Anthony Ryan, and indeed all the members of the Galway Race Committee and sponsors. We'd like to thank Lisa, Ado and Henry for joining us at our launch this morning. We'd like to thank Fintan and Niall here in Sound to Light for their fantastic presentation this morning. Also our thanks to the Mayor of Galway, Councillor Colette Connolly, and her kind wishes to us. And Michael, the last word with yourself. Everybody is looking to see people back racing. We are hopeful of seeing people in racing, but tune into all the racecourse social media outlets and the website for details once we get information.
Yeah, certainly. It's something, we're very hopeful of. I think we need ourselves to have a decision in the next 2 to 3 days. So, I think if you watch out all our platforms, we'll be updating people on where we are, what the outcome of that is. But I know there's huge support coming for us for Ballybrit in terms of the work we do and supporting the festival. And I think we have a couple of messages of support coming in from around the country to look at now. But we'd like to thank everybody for joining us here this morning, and thank yourself, George, as well for hosting it, and everybody that's been involved behind the scenes.
And we can join those people, many of the luminaries of racing, wishing the very best of luck to the Galway races. From us all here at Sounds of Light, we wish you the very best of luck for the Racing Festival. We hope to be talking to each and every one of you throughout the 7 days, with hope that Galway, once again, plays its part in the return to recovery of our great nation and our great city. Finally, we go to those people who've been sending us messages for the last 2 to 3 weeks.
G'day guys, Andy Friend here. Just want to wish the Galway races all the very best for the Summer Festival 2021. Great to be able to get there now and to have you back. We missed you last year. Hope the festival goes really well. Cheers.
Hi everyone, it's Ed Chamberlain here from ITV Racing to wish all the Galway team the best of luck for their big week. It's going to be spectacular. It's always fun. And one day I'd absolutely love to be there just to experience it, because so many people talk about it. But to all the owners, the trainers, the jockeys, the grooms, and of course all those brilliant horses, I hope you have a superb week.
Hello everyone, it's AP McCoy here, just wanting to wish all the owners, trainers and jockeys and everyone that's lucky enough to take part at this year's Galway Festival the very best of luck. I know it's a race meeting that JP McManus and his family love to have winners at, as I did when I was lucky enough to be a jockey. Sadly I won't be there this year, but we'll really look forward to watching on TV. I hope you all have a really great week. Best of luck everyone.
Hi, Pat Mullins here. Just like to wish Galway races all the best. Looking forward to getting up there at the end of the month, hopefully with a bit of a crowd, and finally maybe trying to win the amateur handicap for the first time, and hopefully pick up a couple of rides in the Galway plate and hurdle. But can't wait to be there.
I'd like to wish all the team in Galway who are getting ready for the Galway Race Week the best of luck. It's a huge week in Galway. It's a big week for horse racing. We had 1,000 spectators at the Irish Derby, and the thoughts of having 5,000 at Galway. It's a small figure for Galway, but it's a huge figure right now, and that would make the race week even more special. I hope they get the go ahead from the government to do so, because Galway is a unique and special place, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Great excuse to get together, have a few drinks, have the crack and back a few horses.
This is our family day out.
But yeah, it's great to be back. It's wonderful. It's great.